we're here today basically to speak in front of some of our very valued customers, future customers and partners about Aura Streaming and Aura CDN. So what I'd love to do with you, Adam, today is talk through your adoption of Aura as a service. But before we dig in and we come to some of the questions in your introduction, for those of you who don't know or aren't familiar with Aura Streaming or Aura CDN, which is owned wholly by Varnish Software, it's a collaboration between Varnish, Intel, and Tier 1 ISPs and carriers, delivering a very different model to traditional CDN. Instead of being consumption-based, it's a capacity-based model. And rather than running on a shared environment with noisy neighbors, it's built on dedicated bare metal infrastructure, meaning you get a fully managed private CDN as a service. Instead of being, I just said that. On top of that, Aura obviously gives customers the freedom to run their own edge workloads, things like ad insertion, personalization on the same capacity without being the barriers of traditional CDN or additional cost. So with that, Adam, be delighted to hear your perspective on how this has come to life at MUX. But firstly, would you mind introducing yourself? MUX, and for those who don't know MUX, a bit more about MUX as a company.
Sure thing. Thanks, Will. So I'm Adam, one of the co-founders and CTO at MUX. What MUX does is we do kind of all things video infrastructure for developers. So we have a video streaming API where we handle the ingestion, storage, transcoding, and delivery, including the full kind of CDN ecosystem there. So video in as a file or a live stream, and we give you out a playback ID that you can drop right into your website. We also do video analytics, particularly like QoE analytics, or how your streamers are performing. We sell that as a standalone product. Also comes with the video system, which also includes engagement analytics as well. Who's watching, how they're watching it, and how they're consuming the data. Yep.
And when we bumped into you last year on the stand, what sort of specific challenges or pain points led you to looking for a new solution other than the commercial CDN vendors you had?
Sure. So MUX started out multi-CDN. We're using public CDNs. We've built a multi-cloud, multi-CDN from the start. Video streaming is hard, it's expensive, and having those options was really kind of important to us. We've run into a number of challenges that I think we'll get into on as we've scaled onto the public cloud providers, and we were really looking for kind of the perfect trifecta of all the hard things. So cheaper, more performant, and more control, and that was really the thing that kind of drove us to looking more deeply into Aura.
Yep. There we go. Yep. And in terms of your decision to actually evaluate us as a serious CDN vendor, was there a problem you were sort of most eager to solve at the time? Can you pinpoint one?
Yeah, I mean, cost for sure. And predictable costs. So a little bit of the reliability and control as well. But I think we were at that time really mostly focused on the cost problem. Yeah.
And I think when it comes to our approach, you've been dealing with traditional CDN vendors now for a long, long time. Many of them approach you on a daily basis, I'm sure. But how did our approach differ to that of a traditional CDN?
Yeah, I mean, I think we'd gotten to a place where we've had a lot of growth, particularly in kind of the petabytes per month range, and got to a point where we had very predictable workloads. We were ready to kind of take control over our own streaming infrastructure. I mean, we've gone as far as to own particular encoding tech, and we're looking at building out our own kind of storage solutions. We've never been shy about kind of going layers down below cloud providers and things like that. So we wanted more ownership. We wanted those predictable costs. And most importantly, I think for Varnish, we were already deployed on CDNs using VCL, so it was a very comfortable kind of transition for us.
And from having some experience with VCL, were there any technical surprises you and the team faced? I know Wonder has been very much looking forward to and enjoying learning VCL as a language throughout this process.
I don't think any technical surprises. I think obviously there's with any new vendor there's things you have to work through, and the Varnish team, I can confidently say by far has been the best from a support perspective that we've ever worked through, kind of solving bespoke issues for us and really making it work even when it didn't work out of the box. We have. I think you've agreed to this, that we have rather complex needs. We have it's a multi-tenant kind of shared infrastructure for all of our customers, where we're doing lots of complex things on the edge to support security controls, DRM, all the other kind of key signing and signed URL problems that are not things that most people do as a service, particularly in the multi-tenant space. So the Varnish team has been really great at working with us on that.
And in terms of the results you've seen so far, it may
Yep.
be too early because obviously the adoption's only really just coming to light.
Yep.
In terms of your traffic in general and your paying customers. But what sort of impact do you think this will have on your end customer and users?
Yeah, I mean, so there's obviously the cost savings things that we talked about that were the initial driver, but the surprise along the way, we got into a scenario. One of the biggest challenges we ended up having with the public CDNs is cache and like throughput pressure. We started running into other large streaming providers having a release on the same day, and we're all butting heads for capacity, and we were particularly running into challenges in certain like locations in Europe. We got really fortunate. We had already had an Aura deployment out, and we were able to really shift a lot of traffic to that and solve immediately for certain customers like these performance needs. Like frankly, we would have lost a customer had we not had that in our back pocket. So we've gotten to today on Aura in the places where we have the POPs deployed. I think we're around 50% of the traffic in that particular like POP location. Yep.
And in terms of your sort of future expansion and long-term strategy, how do you see Aura fulfilling your needs as your traffic grows as well and changes?
Yeah, I mean, our plan will always be multi-CDN. We'll always have some public CDN component. We want to have, in the ideal scenario, Aura is filling kind of the baseline for everything as we expand. Probably North America, EU traffic is most of our, the primary location today. But that's continuing to grow and expand across the rest of the globe. But if we can kind of cover our baseline with Aura and spill over to the other public CDNs, that is our plan right now.
Yeah. We obviously talk about trying to utilize the capacity that you have as part of your CDN. That's where we see a real cost benefit in terms of driving that cost per gigabyte delivered down. So I think we're on the way to trying to utilize that existing capacity and continue doing that. I've got a question for some of the other sort of potential interest in the room here, but in terms of your advice to other technology leaders that are looking to make a jump away from the traditional CDN model, would you what advice would you give them on your deployment with Aura so far and the whole private CDN as a service?
Yeah, I mean, I think investing in observability early is really important. Like that's something that we've like deeply invested in across our entire platform from day one. I mean, we have a product for it from the observability side, which on the delivery side, which helps a lot. But also internally, really being able to model our traffic, know exactly like what those daily peaks and troughs are going to be, and then a product like Aura, where we can come in and say that we know exactly how this fits. We can optimize the traffic to maximize that capacity is really important.
Adam, thank you. As all of my questions rattled off fairly quickly.
Cool.
Do we have any questions in the room from anyone? Everyone keeps their hands down at this point.
You've got a question. No, I'm kidding.
No? Not now? In which case, Adam, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Massively appreciated. Thank you very much.